live on Sky Sports F1. Formula One is back. It's the moment they've been waiting for. Are you ready? It's time. Let's go, boys. Listen to the roar. Right now. Time to go racing. Box. There is a full Ferrari. I need more power, man. Okay, this is hammer time. He's going for it! Give me everything you have. He's going wheel to wheel with Lewis Hamilton!
Live from virtual Michigan, we welcome race fans one and all to the Michigan International Speedway, where we once again get set to kick off another race here in the VRX-Pimax World Cup. This time, it is race number 4 getting set to rumble away for us here tonight as we get set to kick off what should be a very intense 100 miles of racing action. 50 laps the distance around this beautiful 2-mile speedway from Brooklyn as we get set to go racing for what again should be an absolute barn burner of a show. My name is Little Remple. Joining me at the booth was due to be Ryan Howard, a bit late to the call. Hopefully Ryan will be able to join us later on tonight. And you, of course, are watching the VRX-Pimax World Cup live on Green Flag TV. We look down at the championship standings as things shake up, coming on over into today's race. And what a championship it has been so far. Sean Bounty, after just barely able to hang on against the field, takes the points lead exiting Atlanta. He'll now be 7 points clear of Chris Carroll and Aaron Smith, tied for that second position in the points. Jason Day has yet to break up into the triple digits. A lot of championship battles still close as we get set to round out the first half of what has been an absolutely thrilling sprint season thus far. Remember, 8 weeks the distance. We are entering week number 4 before we get set to go racing at what will be the fastest track we're going to be having all season long when we come on down to it over next week at the iRacing Super Speedway. Qualifying is very much underway here today from the VRX-Pimax World Cup race over here at beautiful Michigan International Speedway. We will go down to the track and we'll show you kind of who's making moves where. And of course, all eyes are so far on the opening driver here, Sean Bounty, running his first qualifying lap to see where he can put that VRX Simulator's number 34 Toyota Camry up on the board. So far, you've got about 21 drivers that have been good enough for times as Bounty will come across the start-finish line this time by, and he's going to log a time that will be good enough for 23rd position. But of course, still a lot of time left to go for Bounty as well, as he'll be able to now hightail it down, use that second lap to try to get himself with a good qualifying effort here as he'll take it down to the back straightaway. Bounty already completing 1 of 2 laps. Currently has to be at a 39.130 if he wants to get up and by Corbin Himstreet for provisional pole. Down to 24th position, made that now 25th. Down to 27th, this driver started to come across time boards. He'll cross the start-finish line. Where's this lap time gonna put him? Good enough for P3 on the board. So Sean Bounty up on the podium here so far. We'll take it right aboard some of these other drivers. How about we ride along with the likes here of Sierra Clampett as she tries to take us around the Michigan International Speedway. And second lap time for Clamper, again, only good enough for 29th on the board. So she's not had the best of qualified runs so far for Sierra Clamper here for the Michigan International Speedway. Still have a few drivers out on the racetrack putting down lap times, but the majority of these drivers are just out here at this point trying to see if they can get themselves with some extra practice laps out here. May as well. You're going to be getting a bit of extra time here before the session ends anyway. May as well take full advantage of that. We've got about 15 seconds left on the boards here, and we'll get set to run it down trackside for your starting grid here tonight for the Michigan International Speedway. So, with that in mind, as we've got now drivers here that are fully getting set to close things on down, it's about high time we go down trackside, and we'll show you what your starting grid's going to be looking like as we get set to go racing for what should be a very, very thrilling 50 laps of racing action here tonight. Started up on a pole position, it is going to be none other than Corbin Himstreet with Aaron Smith beside him on that front row. You've got the likes of Sean Bounty in third with Jonathan Schwartz back in fourth. Joseph Seelig and Edward Marshall on row number 3 with Derek Stanley and Chris Carroll on row number 4. It is then going to obviously be the likes here of Isaac Wilson, Jeffrey Hunter to round up the top 10 on row number 5 with Larry Bell and Mark Bath on row number 6. Moving down through the field, we got ourselves on row 7, Brian Hennings and Carson Catlin, Dave Collins Sr. in 15th, Jason Days 16th, Elise Main and Guy Barrett on row 9, Joy Maines and Nicholas Fondo round out the top 20. For there, you've got Dylan Jackson, Jason Lyon, Andrew Schuler, Stephen Crone, Greg Spiker, John Hudson, Teresa Spiker, Nathan Kennedy, Sierra Clampert, and Lewis Beglin, rounding out tonight's 30 cars of racing action from the virtual Michigan International Speedway. We'll take a quick shout here to some of the sponsors that help to keep the lights on here for the VRX-Pimax World Cup. Of course, this broadcast is brought to you by the title sponsor, Pimax. With their gear, you can go where no gamer has gone before. They've strived to help humanity exceed its limits through the use of technology, putting users first by delivering the best VR experience possible. To find out more, visit them at www.pimax.com. And by VRX Simulators. VRX has been designing and developing advanced simulators for over 15 years. If you can believe it or not, over that time, they have come to understand the unique needs of every individual that purchases a VRX system. Their clients range from the home racing enthusiast to the global corporation, looking to find a comprehensive and immersive solution for a variety of applications. Find out more at www.vrx.ca. By Thrustmaster, a distinguished gaming tradition for over 30 years. Thrustmaster takes pride in its core values, passion, quality, and innovation, and constantly strives to improve the realism and immersiveness in legendary game worlds by offering thrilling and truly exceptional experiences. From video game enthusiasts to casual gamers, Thrustmaster accessories for PC and gaming consoles bring everyone's dreams to life. And lastly, by Buttkicker. Buttkicker haptic hardware and software deliver the most accurate and highest fidelity sim racing tactile feedback possible via in-game audio and telemetry data. Experience deep immersion by actually feeling the vehicle suspension, track surfaces, engine RPMs, tire grip, and more, allowing for your simulator faster driving, more immersion, and more control. Feel what you've been missing at thebuttkicker.com. Drivers starting to make their way out onto the racetrack where we get set to go racing for what should be a very thrilling 50 laps of racing action here tonight. Corbin Himstreet started up here on pole position, and he'll try to see what he can do for himself. We'll see if he can keep himself up there near the top of the scoring pylon and get himself with a good run here tonight in that number 69 Chevrolet Camaro, as we'll take it down to the back straightaway for the one and only time before we go back to green flag racing. It's been a thrilling start to the season. We had a bit of a messy season opener at Daytona. We obviously had ourselves a phenomenal run over at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then, of course, Atlanta Motor Speedway, even better than last, with arguably one of the most thrilling conclusions yet. And then we go to Michigan, followed by the IRC Super Speedway. What a way to end out the first half and enter the second half of the VRX-Pimax World Cup, as you've got all of your drivers lined up. And we want to thank you all for taking the time to join us here for more racing action here on Green Flag TV. Pace car pulls down and into pit road. It's time to crank it up. And we're going to go back to Green Flag Racing in Michigan. wide for the race lead as we cross the start-finish line for the first time today. Running on down in towards turn number 1 for the first time. Aaron Smith pulling clear for the race lead up top, but he's got Jonathan Schwartz chasing him up the bottom side, trying to find a hole off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Here comes 69 of Him Street, the pole center, once again trying to find a move on the bottom. The 16 though of Edward Marshall shoving them clear up on the top shelf as we hightail it down to the turn 3 and 4 for the second time today. Nathan Allen Kennedy had to start this race down from pit road. He sits well and truly down the running order now as Aaron Smith pulls clear for the race lead. Down to turn numbers 1 and 2. The 16 on the bottom. Edward Marshall not letting this lead go without a fight. Up to the top shelf. Aaron Smith pulls clear down the back straightaway. We talked about this last week at Atlanta in some of the interviews with some of our podium finishers there about how much of a tire track Michigan was going to end up being. And that high line is so dominant. At a racetrack like this, you got to really throw for a big slider. Trouble for Guy Barrett as he's tanking down the timing order. I think problems saw Barrett get up and into the outside wall here, coming around through turn numbers 3 and 4. We've got to look at this one here, and Jason Lyon getting into the back end of the 0-2, sending him up and wide, but what a save for Guy Barrett, putting himself way up the racetrack in a handful of spots, but could have been a heck of a lot worse. See up and down throughout this field. The majority of the drivers still running strong. As we fan out throughout the field, you can see it's already a fairly big spread. Currently fast lap held by Pimax GT3 champion Brian Hennings, but he runs back to that 12th position at the moment, so a lot of work to do for Hennings, who wants to pick up the race win tonight. Aaron Smith continues hanging off with the lead. Marshall looking down low. Sean Bounty, last week's winner at Atlanta, trying to find a hole, but he's got the likes of Fort Street still up on top, trying to fight him out. Side by side drag race. Turn numbers 1 and 2 will take it down up to the front straightaway, and it's been a good drive so far for so many cars throughout this field. And as we'll continue to watch as the 16 Premier Setup Shop Ford Mustang works the bottom lane, tries to get up and around. Aaron Smith. Schwartz trying to pin the 16. Down on the bottom. The fight for second as Smith pulls away. Got a breakaway from out first on back to the 12th position. Then you look on back to 13th. This train headed up by Jason Lyon, Nicholas Fontenot, and Carson Catlin. They're leading the pack from about 13th on back to about just about the rest of the field, but realistically to back about 25th spot here as they're going to go 3 wide. The 48 car forces a hole in the middle. Joey Main's going to go through as the 420 machine of Carson Catlin slides up and wide. You can see some of the back markers here like Jackson, Meglin, Crone, and more. Struggling for pace. Teresa Spiker well and truly off the pace of the background, along with C.R. Clamper. Nathan Allen Kennedy still on the lead lap, but running by his lonesome. 27 seconds down. He needs a caution to get himself back up here with the front runners, who are now on that front straightaway. The 15 of Jeffrey Hunter and Isaac Wilson in the 93 going to work together, but we're going to go 3 wide once again in the run down into towards turn numbers 1 and 2. And who's that? I think that's Jeffrey Hunter going up the middle. In fact, it is. Saw as well Aaron Smith trying to take a low line up to the top shelf and right up against the safer barrier on corner exit. Aaron Smith hangs on to the race lead with Jonathan Schwartz trying to maintain some sort of ground as well as we'll come around to turn numbers 3 and 4. The laps ticking away from Michigan International Speedway. You can see our 2 packs fanning out in the background. We'll check in again on our second train here, the 3 and the 52. Day and Hudson going side by side. Oh, look out, contact right behind them as that's the 66 getting pushed up the racetrack. Elise Main getting tagged by Dave Collins, and forced up and wide, and that's going to allow for Carson Catlin to get through. It might allow for Dylan Jackson to get through if he can send one up the inside into turn number 3. Does not look like it, though. I could tell the 43 car wanted to have a look, but opted against it. Aaron Smith continuing to log laps in the front of this field, while your pack of 12 continues to gradually pull away from the 13th place guys on back. You see Sean Bounty kind of stuck in the top 5. Not a whole lot of place he can go. You can tell Chris Carroll trying to find a hole while trying to break up into the top 5 as well. Carroll's not getting a whole lot of help, though, from that inside lane. And going to try to make a move solo as Carroll going to go up the inside of Bounty. Clears him. Now going to be alongside the 16 of Edward Marshall. Moves up to 4th. Or Willie, as the outside lane can be pretty strong through 1 and 2, and I think Marshall might be able to just clear up the top shelf. .11 laps down, 39 laps to go at the line. The pack here starting to break apart somewhat. You see Derek Stanley and Justin Wilson, or Isaac Wilson, excuse me. They were side by side. Coming down the front straightaway down into turn number 1. They got themselves single filed out pretty quickly. Jason Lyon, meanwhile, moved up a lot of spots early. He was up 6 spots. Now he started to lose a bit of time here. He's down 5 now. Scott Guy Barrett now pressure from behind as well. Barrett trying to put spots on the boards, as he has so far not had the best of luck at the 02 Motive Chevrolet. He's been kind of looking to the inside, but you can tell a lot of the guys in the middle of this pack are starting to burn on their rubber, and it's cost them dearly. Jason Lyon going to charge around the outside line and get back around the 02 of Barrett. Not going to do him too much good, though, and kind of a similar story for the guys up in front here with Chris Carroll and the 16 of Edward Marshall. Kind of stuck in a bit of a dirty air battle here at the moment, as nobody's really able to catch up to Aaron Smith. Now, Smith has been pulling away for a good while now, and he's been having himself a very solid drive. In the number 7 car, you're right on board with Aaron Smith now, who has been in control of this race from the get-go. I tell you right now, it's not going to be a fun time with the guys behind him. He would try to catch on up. We see Jonathan Schwartz here still trying to run him down in that number 95 Chevrolet. It's going to be a question of how desperate he's going to be to try to go for these moves. Check back to Sean Boundy. And hello, problems for Jason Lyon, who I believe having technical failures potentially for the number 12 car, as he's kind of all over the shot and messing up our timing screens. So apologies on that. And yellow flag is out on the Speedway. And it is going to be for Jason Lyon, stopped on the racetrack. So caution is out. Aaron Smith will pick up the race lead. This is the yellow flag that Nathan Allen Kent was hoping for. And he's now going to be able to get that drive off and pick up the rest of the pack here for Nathan Allen Kennedy, while Aaron Smith going to pick up the tail of the iRacing safety car. Gonna check back to see what happened to Jason Lyon here. This is Might be a struggle there. Oh, hello. Yeah, blinking out. He gets tagged. And car gets destroyed. I think he just tries to lock it down. And by the time he's in, he's just stopped. So I think he's having some sort of catastrophic failure there from the looks of things. And, well, that's all she wrote. Lion is going to be out of this race. Now, will we be seeing drivers come on down into pit road for service here? I would expect so on lap number 16 of 50. In fact, we will. Aaron Smith going to be leading the charge down and onto pit road. And it is everybody coming on down and in for service. Oh, hello. Problems with Nathan Allen Kennedy having a bit of a lockup. We'll get back to that in just a moment as that happened in the background. Smith, first one into the box. Will he be the first one out? Oh, a couple drivers like the 16 having to reposition. That's a lot of time lost there for the 16 car. Right there, Edward Marshall having a bad run. Smith going to be the first one down. He is off and away. He'll win the race off pit road. And Edward Marshall going to drop and fight in the top 10 and not even being in the top 20 by the time he gets off of pit road. We'll check on what happened to Nathan Allen Kennedy here as he was coming on down and in for service here. When he jumped back, he was a little bit crossed up. He's got Teresa Spiker right in front of him. As, oh, wow, big log, but they actually did make contact there, so I'm not sure what was going on there. But that's going to give damage to Nathan Allen Kennedy now that he'll hopefully have gotten repaired. First yellow flag of the evening from the VRX-Pimax World Cup race here at the Michigan International Speedway. We're going to take a quick step back. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
Live on Sky Sports F1. Formula One is back. It's the moment they've been waiting for. Are you ready? It's time. Let's go, boys. Listen to the roar. Right now. Time to go racing. Box.
I need more power, man. Okay, Lewis, it's hammer time.
He's going for it.
Give me everything you have.
He's going wheel to wheel with Lewis Hamilton.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. We are coming to the conclusion of our first yellow flag of the evening. Aaron Smith leading the way. Pole sitter Corbin Hemstreet starts back in third place, second on the inside row. Jonathan Schwartz backing up the outside line a little bit. He'll now catch up to be alongside Smith. And we will try to go green flag racing this time by. By the way, the reports coming in about what happened to Jason Lyon. He does run VR. His headset shut off in the middle of the race. That's the technical failures that we were seeing on track, and that's why he slowed to a stop in such an erratic fashion. Green flag, though, going to be back up and in the air. Smith continues to hang on to the race lead as we go back to green. Jonathan Schwartz trying to look around for the outside line and try to find some hole to get through, but the 95 gonna have to get the drive up on the top shelf. Smith covers him off, and Jonathan Schwartz gonna tuck it in line for the second position. Chris Carroll back in third with the 69. Right behind it, the 93 in tow as well. We're single file from first on back to fifth. How about Sean Bounty charging up the inside? They're trying to make up spots early. Wide, Hemstreet in the middle, Bounty on the bottom, the 93 Bison Wilson up on top, and Jonathan Schwartz having a blinking problem of his own. He'll get that sorted quickly as the field funnels out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Chris Carroll going to be down on the bottom side. Smith continues the lead, but only by 1/10 of a second. So Jonathan Schwartz very much within striking distance, 3 wide. Are we going to go for 4 off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway? We will not. They'll have some sense and keep it in line with the field. Nice and tightly packed together, much tighter than before. You can see Brian Hennings making moves up on the top shelf, further down in the background as we hightail it down the back straightaway. John Hudson just set the fastest lap of the race at 39.15 last time by. Runs way back in 15th place. He is up 11 though for restart. The most spots gained out of anybody so far today. Edward Marshall we rode on board with there for a brief moment. We'll go up to the likes of Joey Maines, who is still in the midst of a huge scrap here. You can see Maines having a massive struggle here. He's going to go around the outside of Jeffrey Hunter, trying to throw it up the inside of Bounty. Look out! Near contact with himself and Jeffrey Hunter. These guys trying to beat doors like it's a short track of Martinsville, and I can tell you right now, it's only going to end one way with one of these drivers or both of them up into a big crash into the outside wall. Jonathan Schwartz continuing to push. Aaron Smith in the race lead. Will run it back down into turn numbers 1 and 2. What a drive we are seeing here today. The World Cup covers into the wall. Jeffrey Hunter gets up at the outside wall of the huge way, and the field scrambles to the inside. Hennings going to pick up several spots from the low end. The 16, who had a bad pit stop under caution, shoots the middle. Edward Marshall going to get up in between. Oh, we're going to sandwich them together. Can we save it? No, we can't. The 48 going around. Joey May is going to spin it on the front straightaway. And we are going to not quite hard into the inside wall for Joey Maines. Thought he had it saved. He didn't. Aaron Smith, the race leader, as we go to caution flag number 2. Go to the replay of what happened to John Hudson as he came off of turn numbers 3 and 4 and just got sandwiched kind of in the middle there. And what a tough break for the 48 car of Joey Maines. See him up with the 66 and the 199. Mark Math in the midst, and I think Math just pushes Marshall up, but there's nothing that Maines can do, and Maines then spins it around down to the inside, and thought for a moment he would have it save, but man, when you get into that inside wall, there's just nothing that you can do about it, as we're right on board again with Maines. Coming around off of turn numbers 3 and 4. There, but he does get himself assorted relatively quickly. Man, it's a hit to the inside wall as well, and Aboard Edward Marshall, got a front row seat of all of this one. We'll take a look as Hill, car number 4, just gets sandwiched in the middle. Nothing Marshall will do here. And just kind of pushes the 48 around. And how about the 3-car ducking down to the inside in the last possible second to get around this mess? That was John Hudson that got around. Hang on, this is going to get a little bit crazy here. Season's all this development in front of him goes down low. Hello, there's a spinning 48 car. Down to the bottom, clip the grass, and get it rolling. No contact, no hard, no foul. But boy, again, what a tough break for that 48 car. Joey Maines was having such a good race, and it is a shame that it had to fall apart the way that did as he spins it way down to the inside. This is the angle for the pit road camera. That's a hefty shot, but it doesn't look like it broke the axle, which is, I guess, of some small consolation. Lights go out aboard the iRacing safety car, and we'll go back to green flag racing. This time by we talk about some of the prizes that come up for the VRX-Pimax World Cup, but of course Pimax footing the big prize for P number 1. It'll be their brand new Crystal VR headset for the championship winner. For the flight sim fanatics in here, they'll be getting themselves a Thrustmaster Boeing flight yoke setup. Buttkickers put something up for 3rd place for the Buttkicker Gamer Plus. 4th and 5th place also picked up by Thrustmaster. 4th place gets an LCD display for the PS4. And 5th place gets a Ferrari headset. Got 4 races remaining after this one. We got the iRacing Super Speedway, Watkins Glen International, Chicagoland Speedway. Then we wrap it all up at good old Talladega, the biggest, baddest track in all of NASCAR. After pit stop, Sierra Clamper picks up the race lead, up from 28 spots on the grid. She did not pit on 10-lap older tires compared to everybody else. We're going to take it back down to the green flag at Michigan. And perhaps to no surprise, Sierra Clamper tumbling down the timing boards on that old rubber. She's going to fall all the way back to the tail end of the field here while Aaron Smith maintains the momentum up in front, retakes the race lead with Mark Math right behind him. Chris Carroll chops in across Jonathan Schwartz with him trying to chase the top lane as we come off of turn number 4. Oh, trouble behind! Cars going around. That's David Collins Sr. One car hard into the pit wall. Believe that might have been, it was Joseph Seelig. So trouble in the background, and we are under caution flag number 3. The Irish safety car going to pick up the race leaders. And we'll check back in, and we'll again see what just transpired coming on down in towards pit road there. Oh yeah, this is a bit further back than I was intending. We'll jump this forward by just a tad. Should give us a slightly better view coming around. There's the 80 on the bottom. Oh, the 707 got loose and hooked down across Seelig. Oh, and that's a hefty shot that Seelig took into the wall while the 707 slides into pit road. There you see them wreck together and then slide it up into pit road. Hello, lock it down and get it rolling. Yeah, you can kind of to back that up a bit further to see if we can't piece together exactly what went down in the 77. He just got loose all by himself, and then just nowhere for Seelig to go. Boy, Collins did a heck of a job locking that thing down, though, preventing further damage than there was. And this on board with Seelig. And nothing he can do, even lift it out of the throttle and listen to this. Oh, man. Hefty whack into the wall. That broke the car immediately. You can see that right front there not moving at all. Completely broke the axle there. And that will put us under caution flag number 3 now. But while we're under this caution period, we're once again going to take a step back. You are watching the VRX-Pimax World Cup race number 4 here for the Michigan International Speedway.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Coming to the conclusion of our third yellow flag of the evening. Aaron Smith continues to be your race leader. Pacer going to duck down and in off of turn numbers 3 and 4. We will once again get set to go back to green flag racing here from Virtual Michigan International Speedway. Entering the second half of the race tonight, Aaron Smith going to lead us back down to the green flag. Mark Math on the outside, Chris Carroll down on the inside. And coming around to turn numbers 1 and 2, Jonathan Schwartz hangs for 4th. Corbin Hemstreet still wrestling back in 5th. We'll hit it down the back straight away. The field fanning out as drivers try to get up as close to personal wall as they can. How about the 99 car giving Smith a shove down to turn numbers 3 and 4, trying to shove him clear of the rest of this field. And now for the lead, another 3-wide move. Carroll's gonna back out. Hemstreet on the bottom. Gonna falter. He will not be able to pick up second place. He's just gonna give the helping hand to Aaron Smith and shove him down to turn numbers 1-2. Trying to chase it down the inside of the racetrack, down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. While up the track, you've got the 34 Sean Bound trying to fight it out with Edward Marshall right in front of him. The 95 just got involved, and we are once again going to hightail it down into turn numbers 1 and 2. Mass started to lose some time up on the inside line as he got the 69 going to make a move on the outside. Jonathan Schwartz goes for 3 wide down the back straightaway while Bounty clears up top. Back on the 16th spot where Larry Bell sits. Then you got the second pack here. Kind of thundering around, headed up in the bump by the 66 car. But for a moment, it is all eyes up front. As we go to 16 laps to go. Chris Carroll making the move for the race lead down the back straightaway in a 1 and 2. Aaron Smith having to fend him off on the outside. He'll do so. Jumps in front of Isaac Wilson, who can't make the move for second. "15 laps to go. Time is starting to run out. Schwartz jumps up. Mark Bath bails to the inside, stacks it up with the 16 of Marshall. Bath pulling it from the high side. Marshall down low to the back straightaway. Oh, trouble! Cars spinning down low. Derek Stanley involved. So green for the 17 was Fondo. And caution. As Fondo still spinning it into the infield grass. Yellow will come out with 14 to go. As we'll run it back down and pick up the iRacing seat. Well, we had a good run going there for a little while, and then it got a bit torn apart by the drivers in the mid-pack there. We'll jump back here and obviously get a look on what happened to Fontenot and Derek Stanley. You see Fontenot jumping down on the inside. This is when he went for the pass on Derek Stanley. Crossed him up coming off of turn numbers 1 and 2. Gets in it once, and then that's a bit of a bad angle to see what happened. Until the 337, though, did go spinning around and into the infield grass. Man, it looked like he almost just hooked up into the 26 car there. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Let's get another look here. On board Fondo. Contact there. Yeah, he just turns up and wrecks the Tampa Bay Lightning Chevrolet. I'm not sure what the deal was, but perhaps slightly uncalled for, unless he thought he wasn't clear, or he thought it was clear, but I'm not sure why he would have been cleared. But nonetheless, that's a bit of a ride there that Derek Stanley took on board with Stanley now. That's how you save a car. Don't overwork the wheel. Just let. Oh wow, got a bit of air there coming back up onto the oval there, though. That might have damaged the car somewhat. Look here with Derek Stanley again, and we'll see if we can catch him when he kind of goes with that little bit of a leap. That is a strange incident there for Derek Stanley. And right here, that car gonna pick up, and yeah, all 4 wheels up and off the ground. Lucky to spin that car out again when it landed, because it landed pretty heavily. Gonna go lights out here. We will. 11 laps to go when we come back to the green flag. So the order as it sits, Collins, the new race leader after pit stops. along with Carson Catlin. They started the front row. They did not pit under this latest run of stops. Carroll picks up third. The first driver that did stop, Aaron Smith on the outside for row 2. Row 3's got Isaac Wilson and Sean Bounty. Row 4, Guy Barrett, Jonathan Schwartz, Edward Marshall, and Corbin Himstreet. The top 10. Kind of see the big movers and shakers so far throughout the course of this race fluctuating slightly as we are double file. We can kind of get an idea of where the trends have sat thus far. It's been very fluid so far throughout the duration of our race tonight, as is so often expected when you get down to really fast and draft arrow dependent tracks like this one. Catlin and Collins going to be the two cars in control here at triple digits. The 707 and the 420. Going to lead us back down to the green flag as we'll enter the Geico restart zone. Wait for the RC starter. Green flag up in the air. We're back underway. Oh boy, and Catlin stacking up the outside line. This does not bode terribly well for the field as he is sort of off pace. Heads up! Catlin tanking down the field. He's already down to 20th by the time we get off of turn numbers 1 and 2. That's going to anger a few drivers, I'd imagine, as nobody's going to be too happy with how that was handled. Top 2 pulling clear, Carroll and Collins ripping away. The rest of the field trying to charge after him. 10 laps left to go from Michigan. Oh, contact between Schwartz and Wilson down to turn 1. Bit of door banging there going on. But they keep it together. They keep it straight for 3 wide in the background. Cars being pushed up and wide. Are they going to get off the wall? Yes, he will. Whoa, look out. Mark Math away to the inside. He will recover. Pull it back up onto the racetrack. 3 wide again. Look at Aaron Smith ripping the top lane. He's going to get up and around. 1 driver make it out 2. Can he go for 3? Will not. He'll tuck in line behind Isaac Wilson. The charge from the outside run from the plane, number 7. Whoa, again, loose out of turn number 2 there for the 0-2, Carson Catlin. And it looks like the field has finally got themselves straightened up a bit. Just enough, maybe we could go to the end of this race here without any more cautions. Aaron Smith setting the fastest lap of the race. No, he doesn't lose. Beckler takes it away. A 39.07 for Lewis Meglin to put himself up with the fastest lap on the boards. Chris Carroll hanging on to the race lead. Isaac Wilson trying to run him down for that second position. Smith and Schwartz still duking it out for 3rd and 4th. Trying to pull it up and around the outside line. And Isaac Wilson will continue to hang on for that second position, but here comes Aaron Smith starting to close. Look at Chris Carroll weaving left, weaving right. He's trying to break the draft here. That's not going to work out for too long, though, as Chris Carroll Has to now contend with Isaac Wilson. Wilson goes to the top shelf. That's where the speed is, but he's too far up. And Wilson's going to sacrifice the momentum big time down the back straightaway. While Aaron Smith trying to pick it up for second place a little bit further down behind. Again to the top shelf for the Ghost Energy Drink, number 93 Chevrolet. Smith so close to wiping him out. Down the front straightaway into turn numbers 1 and 2. Where will this leave the field as we'll take it down the back straightaway with 5 laps left to go? Behind the pack. Duking out a big way, but here's the move for Smith. Smith up to second. Aaron Smith making in charge for second place off of turn number 4. Coming down to the front straightaway, 4 laps left to go. Smith continues to hang on for second spot. The field scrambles. Look out. Jonathan Schwartz clipped the outside wall. Coming off of turn numbers 3 and 4. He's going to bang doors with Isaac Wilson. It is a physical race out here at Michigan International Speedway. 3 to go. But Carroll pulling away. The fight for 4th. Through 6th. Look at the huge defensive run for the 93. Slides up in front of the 69. Can't do that as the 48 rips it clear from the top shelf. Joey Maines, after being spun early, has pulled off an amazing recovery drive back to 4th. Net 15 spots gained on the day for the 48. Can he pull through to pick up 3rd? It's 6/10 up the road. Two laps remaining from Brooklyn, Michigan. And the first half of the VRX-Pimax World Cup, 0.3 of a second separate Carroll from Smith. It's looking like it might be no contest unless Jonathan Schwartz gives Aaron Smith one heck of a bump down the front straightaway. We will come off of turn numbers 3 and 4 and take the white flag. Smith has been gradually trying to close in, but he's not closing in fast enough. Down to 0.2 of a second though as we enter turns 1 and 2. He might have what it takes if he can send a Hail Mary into 3 and 4. Back straight away for the final time. 1/4 of a second. Down to 0.2. Just over 1/10 and a half. It's not going to be enough. Chris Carroll got to just keep it out of the outside wall. Coming off of turn numbers 3 and 4. And it'll be Chris Carroll to pick out the race win in Michigan. What an amazing race that we have had so far here tonight as one by one drivers come across our finish line, and Joseph Seelig going to be in the grass as he will spin it down to the bottom. Absolutely incredible drive from everybody out here so far today. And Chris Carroll, the man of the hour, gets set to burn it down on the front straightaway. Take a look at your official post-race results from the Michigan International Speedway, where Chris Carroll takes the victory over Aaron Smith the second. Jonathan Schwartz picks up 3rd. Joey Maines in 4th, Devin Marshall in 5th. Hemsher was in 6th spot with Larry Bell back in 7th. Isaac Wilson was 8th with Sean Bounty in 9th. Jason Day rounds out the top 10. Guy Barrett picks up 11th, Jeffrey Hunter in 12th, Brian Hayes with 13th, Lewis Begley in 14th, John Hudson 15th, Mark Math 16th, Elise Main 17th, Dylan Jackson back in 18th spot, Derek Sam 19th, and Nathan Kennedy rounding out the top 20. For there, we've got Andrew Schuler, Nicholas Fontenelle, Sierra Clamper, Greg Spiker, Carson Catlin, Dave Collins Sr., Steve Crone, Joe Cecilia, Teresa Spiker, and Jason Lyon. All but one driver finished this race on the lead lap tonight, and oh boy, what an absolutely intense race that we have had so far here to pick up the VRX-Pimax World Cup and round out the first half of our season here tonight. And again, could not have anticipated a more exciting race than that. What a run that we had, especially in the kind of opening laps here of what was an absolutely thrilling race. We will see if we can't get a chat here with some of the drivers here in this one. And I think it's safe to say we should start with the race winner and gradually work our way on down, as Chris Carroll going to be picking up the official race win here tonight. Now, Chris, my goodness, what a drive for you. You had to really work for that win out there today. Aaron Smith thought he might have had you when he closed it down to 0.2 of a second in turn 1, but it was evident when he came to 3, he had nothing for you.
Well, I don't know that he had nothing for me, but he got held up on that restart, and it was a big plus for me. I was fighting through the restarts, and someone, I think, was on old tires and held them up there, so pretty fortunate there. I think he might have had something for me at the end. I was just trying to run my pace and make him come and get me.
It was an intense race, though, I think safe to say, for the course of the night. You had a few cautions here or there. You found yourself able to avoid all the trouble, though, for the most part. When you look back to how the race was at Atlanta, is this a track that you prefer compared to a track where it was more, shall we say, plate race-like? Or what's your take about Michigan here?
Well, I think most of the tracks on this are plate track-ish, if you want to call that a word. But, this was really tough because you couldn't run too hard or you'd burn it off. And if you ran not hard enough, guys were all running it too hard to try and get by you. So it was tough out there. You had to be really smart and pick your lanes and try not to if you checked up too hard, they ran over you. So it was pretty tough racing out there. I think Aaron did a good job of managing his stuff, and I think a few other guys did out there too. But we were hoping for the long run and hoping for no more play tracks.
Well, we exit this race tonight, and obviously you take up another race win here in the VRX-Pimax World Cup. Is it safe to say, then, that this is going to ring, shall we say, good news for your championship hopes here?
Hoping so, man. You just try and look and get top 5s every week if you can, and top 10s if you can't, and try and take what's there. I think, if you don't force it, and I think you keep your car clean, you'll be there in the championship week, and that's what I'm trying to do. Put myself in the championship picture at the end.
Well, fingers crossed you'll be able to keep up in that championship picture as we get set to roll into the iRacing Super Speedway next week. Thanks for joining us up here, Chris. Congratulations on the race win.
Hey, thanks, Nolan. Appreciate it, bud.
That was Chris Carroll joining us up here from Victory Lane here tonight. We'll move it on down to the second place driver. It is going to be Aaron Smith. And Aaron, you led a good chunk of this race tonight. In fact, I think you led the most laps out of anybody tonight. So how was it that Chris Carroll managed to get the drive around you and pick up the race win?
Yeah, I wanted to be cute there on that last pit stop. I wanted to make sure I got the outside so I could try to push the 420 ahead on the backstretch, since the outside was so much better with everyone trying to line up and get that draft. But yeah, he just didn't restart. I don't know if he was in third or if he spun his tires or what, but I got stuck behind him, and with the 3-wide rule we got going, I didn't want to push it to its limit there. I didn't want to risk getting a black flag for something that was out of my control, but if I could go back and do it all over again, I certainly wouldn't have tried to start on the outside there. Would have gotten that good run out of the pit box like I had been all race, and maybe the story would have been different. But should haves, would haves, and could haves don't win races. So we'll just have to pack it up and see what we can do next week.
You mentioned, of course, pit stops was kind of a big for you to maintain that race lead, especially how good you were getting out of the box. And we did notice that several times when you looked down to the yellow flag pit stops. How crucial was it that you got a good run in those yellow flag stops? Was it a thing where you could try to fight your way back up through the field later, or was that never realistically an option?
Well, you can never be too sure. I mean, like I said, with the 3 wide rule on the first lap of the restart, you can lose a lot of spots if you're not careful. A lot of really fast guys were falling back way further in the pack than they should have been. So I wanted to keep that from being an issue for me, but unfortunately, on that last restart, it became a reality there, and I had to fight my way back up. And by the time I'd gotten back to Chris, my tires were screwed. So hopefully, we'll learn from that mistake and go on into the rest of the season.
The next race on the schedule, it's as I've kind of dubbed it ever since it came to the Irish service, it's Martinsville, but on steroids. It's got the same shape, but instead of a half mile, it's 3 miles long, and it's got the most banging out of any racetrack you ever did see. What's going to be the plan as you get set to go to the fastest track on the calendar this season?
Well, my main priority is to stay alive for the whole race. I don't know how the strategy is going to be, and I don't know if the tire updates coming in this new build on Tuesday or Wednesday are going to change anything. But I'll turn some laps with the AI and see what that does, and hopefully I'll be able to talk to you again next week.
Well, fingers crossed we'll be seeing you again later on in the season, and congratulations once again on that second position. Hopefully it'll be translated into a race win come this time next week.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Aaron Smith joining us up here from the second step of the podium. Moving on down to Jonathan Schwartz, the driver that finished it off in third. And Jonathan, for you, it was, again, like a lot of others, a tough race, but for you, very consistent. You were running up in the top 5 all day.
Yeah, it was definitely a super fun track to drive. But when you're running it single file or just like by yourself without anyone around, it's not too fun since it kind of feels like there's a single line to run. But here it felt like you could kind of dive it in on the inside, maybe get along someone. But overall, the outside line seemed to just be dominant throughout the race. So, yeah, whenever you got on those restarts, you really wanted to be on the outside lane. But yeah, that first half of the race, just hanging right behind Aaron, I was super comfortable, just in second. And it might have not been too exciting for the broadcast. I wasn't trying to just be super calm and just relax there. I wanted to get alongside, but anytime I got a run, it just wasn't enough to be able to make a move. So I just stayed behind to be safe. Since it's so easy to make a run, don't get it cleared, and then a whole bunch of cars pass you, like freight train you by on the outside, and you lose like 5 spots from one attempt. So yeah, up to that point, things were looking good, and then uh, we had those few restarts where there were some guys on old tires, and man, it was really challenging just to be able to manage getting around those guys, because even just 5 laps, it was like they're already like a second off pace. I don't know what it is about this track, but something about it, just 5 laps and your tires are already killed. So yeah, those last few laps, I think we were trying to get around the 93 car for like third place. And yeah, he got into the wall. We got a bit of a run, and we actually made a pass on the inside. We got like a bit of a shove from behind too, so that really helped. So yeah, I didn't think we'd be getting a podium. I was hoping for a top 5, and we did even better than that. So I can't be more happy.
iRacing Super Speedway comes up next, and obviously you've got iRacing plastered all over that 95 Chevrolet there. What's going to be the game plan as we get set to go to the longest and fast track of the schedule, ranking in at over 3 miles?
Yeah, that's that's a track I've only ever driven in the car tomorrow. Actually, I haven't driven it in like the next gen Cup car, and with those cars, it seems that even though it's super wide and super long, like once you go to that high side, it's like there isn't really that much progressive banking. So it feels like you're kind of limited to just like the bottom half of the track. So I'd say really kind of hope that there is that momentum coming and really be smooth at that transition on from the banking onto the straightaway, since that's a very severe drop off. It can really upset the car. So I'd say that's the thing to just watch out for. And also getting into the banking. It's like Dover is one of those tracks where like you jump down into the track. It's almost very similar to that. So yeah, definitely got to be really fun. But I just got to give a shout out to my sponsors before we head out there to next week. Obviously, iRacing on the car, as well as SimRace City. They're a new sponsor, and excited to just promote them. Make sure to check out simracecity.com.
You look forward to the championship. 25 points unofficially separate you from points leader Chris Carroll exiting tonight. What do you think you're going to have to do in these coming 4 races here that we have left on the season to get that car into the number 1 spot?
Man, it's fun to be racing these guys, but man, I wish it was different guys. I wish they were rotating around the field, but I swear it's always the same guys in the top 5. And so it's just like, man, I'm waiting for someone to have an off week, because I might have a good race, but they're never missing a step. So I think I'm just going to have to give it my A game, hope I can pull out some wins, and hope that they happen to have a few more off races. Other than that, I'll continue to give it all I have.
Well, congratulations then on the 3rd place, and thank you for taking the time to join us up here tonight here, Jonathan. Congratulations on the 3rd place here tonight. Best of luck then as we go next week to the home track for the number 95.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It was Jonathan Schwartz joining us up here from 3rd place on the podium, and my goodness, what a race that we have had so far here tonight. And I don't think, again, this could have been a better way to end off the first half of the season, but there is still so much left to come. You've, of course, got the big tracks coming up next. The RH Super Speedway, the longest track of the schedule. We're slow it on down to go road course racing at Watkins Glen International. That is all yet to come. But for now, here from Michigan International Speedway, it is time to close. My name is Little Rempel. Thank you for joining us so much here on Green Flag TV. I want to once again give a big thanks to Thrustmaster, Buttkicker, Pimax, and VRX for making the VRX-Pimax World Cup possible. You join us next week, same time, same place. We'll be back for more for the VRX-Pimax World Cup. My name is Little Rempel. You're watching Green Flag TV. You all have a good rest of your weekend.